To make a thing all right. It takes two to make it out of sight. Yeah. Uh-oh. Pizza? Did you order pizza?
Hey, I'm sorry,
police
I'm
are
late.
here.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I'm late. Joe! Hey! I haven't seen you in, well, a few minutes. No, I haven't seen you in a while. So how you been, man?
Good, man. Good. I haven't seen you since I saw you at Snoop and Martha. Snoop and Martha's
Snoop and
cook-off.
And
Martha.
I haven't seen you since the Peaches Tacos we had.
Peaches Tacos.
And
Those fucking tacos
the
are
Jonas
good.
Brothers
They're the
were
best.
there on that show. That was really great. That was the episode that Lonnie did.
Oh, yeah. It was Nick and Joe or just Nick?
All three of them were there.
What's the third one's name? See that?
3T?
Nobody knows the third Jonas. That's the weird thing, right? It's
Jonas?
Nick, Joe,
I do.
and...
Yeah, let me look
Nick,
them up.
Joe,
See, we have to look him up.
Jonas Brothers.
This isn't
It's
good.
It's horrible, right? The poor
It's
Joe-
horrible because
poor unknown
it
Jonas.
says
brother.
it says three criminals from Tennessee. No, I'm
okay,
just
that's
kidding.
not them.
No, it's not them. It's crazy. They're
Sorry,
not even that popular anymore.
no.
Because
That's
I
not
met
cool.
all
Nick is.
of the guys, and I wish I could remember because it's driving me nuts now. I mean,
Nick.
it's just one of those things. We're all getting Alzheimer's.
Okay,
That's not-
so-
I'm not joking about that.
Nick is the one with the cougar lady, right?
Right. Nick
Yeah.
did the
And then it's Kevin and
Jumanji.
Frankie.
Kevin. How
Kevin.
we forgot Kevin?
How could you forget Kevin?
Kevin is like, that's the
Of
dude,
all the
man.
Jonases,
Oh,
he's
no
by
way.
far my favorite.
It's just because it doesn't start with a J is all.
That's
'Cause
right.
Jonas starts with a J.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of Jay, guys, I got to tell you something crazy. So it came up. So for a while, we couldn't get online. And then when we got online, the first picture that popped up, no joke, was John Belushi's picture.
wow.
Because John Belushi died literally across the street from
Yeah.
this
Oh, yeah, the
place.
Chateau Marmont.
Yeah.
The Chateau
So
Marmont.
his spirit roams in this place, is what I hear. You don't feel that cold, like brush?
I feel like just taking a whole thing of mashed potatoes and just eating it all at once.
All right.
man.
So, yeah, we're in legendary, on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. There's so much history here.
Totally.
And
Lots.
let's get right into it. So, Joe and I were in a theater company together, Theater 68, and we've been on stage together
Yep.
a few times.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
I've directed
And,
you.
Yeah, absolutely. I
That's so
remember
cool.
well. There was some great times. I got to tell one quick story though as we get started. I won't. There's some names I won't mention, but we were in the show Radioland.
Yes.
And it was the first big play that I was going to be in front of a big audience because I'd done some black box stuff, but this was 99 seater. And I was even helped write these lines for this character. I had 3 or 4 lines, but it was where I come on at the end and I save the day. I was this detective and everything, and I catch the bad guy, and it was a big deal. And for some reason, I was struggling with the lines, remember? There were 3 lines, and I kept stumbling on them. So the director was our great friend, Ryan Paul James.
Ryan Paul James, yes.
And his
RPJ.
beautiful wife, Melissa Disney, who are going to come on.
Oh, awesome.
And then there was someone else that was involved with directing and stuff. And that person said, like, what's the problem? Come on, man. You helped write the line, You gave us the idea. You put the lines in the script. And I said, I don't know what's happening, So I went over to you, and you were working on your Foley stuff and everything. And I said, Joe, I don't know what's going on. And I'll never forget what you told me. And it turned everything right around for me. He said, Jim, you're the detective that saves the day, and this whole thing leads up to that. And you're the biggest swinging dick detective guy. What they call it? They call it pun intended. And you just turned me around, and I went up there and I delivered those lines, and that set me off to do a lot more theater. And
that's
I was
awesome.
getting right back into acting at that point. So I appreciate that.
Oh,
That's very cool. Great
welcome.
story, James.
Well,
So welcome to the Jim and James Morning Podcast, fellas.
I love this.
Thanks, man, for doing this, buddy. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure,
that.
my pleasure. This is
so
fun.
there's
I
one
love this, man.
problem we have, and that
What
is
is
that
it?
I forgot my Reese's cup.
That's right. But what are you drinking, brother?
This is Barnhouse Napa Brews, everyone. So, if
And why don't you tell everyone what we have now? We have some merch.
We have, first of all,
Let's plug
here
in
at the
Liquid,
studios, I believe it's a sponsor or something, but we're real big on this Liquid Death
It's good
water.
stuff.
It
Yeah.
looks like beer or whatever. It looks like red. What are they? Those drinks?
Yeah,
It looks
like
like,
like-
Sparks or something.
It looks like
Right.
a Modelo.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like
does.
to me. It's
That's
like,
what I thought it was.
I
But
pretend.
It's
Yeah.
just water,
And it was just water.
but it tastes really good for
I
some
want to
reason.
know who was like thinking water
In a
needs to
fucking
have
can.
in a can, and then goes, we need the word that really wants you to drink water.
Yeah,
Death.
exactly.
Let's
You
go
would
death.
think, no wonder they have cases of
Yeah.
it back here. Nobody wants to drink it because
Right.
it's killing people.
Do they have something like, try liquid gonorrhea? No, that's not going to work.
that wasn't going to work. But this
Liquid
is
AIDS.
really, really good. I mean, I'm really impressed.
Got
It's
liquid
good stuff.
syphilis, but I'll go with liquid death.
There's something
liquid death
about
is the
it
title.
The idea is that
makes
they
it
don't
taste
drink
good
it.
in this can.
It is a really good
It's
water.
good water, guys. Good water.
And
Good merchandise, too.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, but the one thing is the commercial. There was there was a commercial during the Super Bowl or something. They
Right.
showed all these kids drinking and acting drunk and
Yeah.
everything, and I was kind of put off by it.
Yeah.
But I tried this; it's really good. And now I rewatch the commercial and I go, it's actually fun.
It's fun,
It's like
yeah.
get over yourself. It's like they're having fun with the way it looks and everything. But this is really fresh and really good. And I'm not
Good
getting
stuff.
paid to say that, but I really love.
I
this
saw
water now.
Steve-O, which you know very well, right?
I know him,
Steve-O. Yeah, Steve-O was drinking a lot of these, and I thought, what the hell? I thought Steve-O had given up alcohol, but then it turns out it's fucking
yeah, no,
water. No wonder he's
Steve-O.
drinking loads of
Yeah,
it.
it's
instead
good
of
too.
doing it.
I
Steve-O
remember the
is
first time I
definitely
tried it was
sober.
here.
Yeah, sober
so,
for a while.
Yeah, I forgot my Reese's cup, which is a signature thing, but we have merch, and we're going to start doing giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
We have cups. DJ.
It looked like Van Gogh for a second.
Yeah, it is Van Gogh.
I thought it was a Van Gogh cup.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
it is.
is that he's going to work on mine a little bit more
Yeah.
because I've had some people say, well,
Yeah.
I think this is dead on for Jim, but
Yeah.
we're going to tweak this a little bit more and see if we can make it look a little more. My mother used to have a saying, and she'd say, the camera doesn't lie, a character doesn't lie. That's how I look. That's how I look.
Yeah,
but
but that doesn't
DJ
look
wants
like
to
him.
work on it. He wants to work on it a little more, and we have some shirts.
But we'll do some
that we're
NFT.
gonna
Those
give
are
away.
our new NFTs, by the
Yeah,
way.
that's
We're-
gonna be an
that cup is
NFT.
worth like $40 million
yeah,
right now.
right now it is.
Someday.
Someday.
Okay, so Joe, tell us about what you've been doing since Theater 68. A lot. I remember you were working on Punk'd, you were working on Jackass. Tell us what you did, and then let's go into some of your stand-up and stuff. I mean, not doing it here, but tell us
Is this
about it.
thing
Yeah,
on?
dude, if you
Hello, is this on? I've been very fortunate. I started doing stand-up back in the late 80s in Philly. And
Funny Bone, right? At a place
Funny
called
Bone, the Funny Bone. First place I did was the Funny Bone.
I saw your headshot.
Right, with the long hair.
Well, yeah.
You look
Yeah.
like a stoner, dude. You were a stoner.
I was a stoner.
Yeah,
Up until
was.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah, up until I didn't this morning. Luckily, though, I met this guy, a friend of mine, Celine, and her husband, Oscar, lived out here, and they worked on a show called Punk'd that had just started.
Okay, and it looks like we're right to Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon thing.
right.
Thank you. I'll be back later. And then I got involved in Punk'd, and I started building all these really cool gadgets and fun things to make it happen. And I don't know if you ever watched the show, but we used to do some
No, I
crazy.
loved
It's hilarious, dude.
It's
a
a
great
lot
show.
of work, but it was a lot of fun, and I was the lead man. Technically, because of the pandemic, it stopped. We were still going back to do another 2 seasons.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
this was going on.
Yeah,
that
we
long.
did 2 seasons for Quibi, the short-lived Quibi,
Uh-huh.
which are now available on Roku for free.
It lasted, what,
You
a day
have
or
that
two?
radio
It
voice
lasted,
too.
yeah, it lasted
Like,
not very long.
2 days, I think.
But
Quibi.
by the end of those 2 Quibi episodes, the
Yeah.
executive producer Jason Goldberg offered me the executive producer position.
Wow,
for the
congratulations.
That's Jeffrey's a deal, right? Jeffrey Katzenberg did Quibi, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then he
Jeffrey,
bombed it.
yeah.
Right. It was supposed to be for on the go, so he put it out during the pandemic.
10-minute, I did like a 10-minute sketches.
We did 20 episodes.
Little sound bites.
And so I literally technically went from the PA of Punk'd to the EP of Punk'd
Wow.
over
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
That's a big deal in the business for you.
yeah,
who
if you don't
know that,
to especially
yeah.
go from an art department guy
Yeah.
to the EP,
Isn't
because
that
I started
something?
writing the show. I started coming up with how they get. I figured out how all this stuff would work.
Right.
I was designing it. I was working with the executive producer on just the layout of everything. So
That's so cool.
That's like my legacy. I feel like
Sure.
if there's anything my name will be attached to, is the fact that I've done every single season
A
of
punk, dude.
That's how Lonnie is. She's never missed an episode of The Real. I think she's the only host
That's
that could say
awesome.
that.
8 years, huh?
I think it was 1,400
8 years, right?
episodes. 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just been canceled. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that are disappointed, and they're all worried about Lonnie. And it's funny because when it happened, when the official word came down, there was a lot of buzz and a lot of rumors and stuff. Everyone was calling her up, like, "Are you all right? Are you?" And she's talking people off the ledge because they're falling apart.
Right.
She says, "I'm good. I got so much more. I have new chapter of my life that I'm going into, and the reel was great for the time it was." But no, that's the way she looks at everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be really nice to see all these projects that I get to see that she's working on.
It's fantastic.
So stay tuned.
And what about the
and
book?
This is her
We have the book,
too.
right?
And
Yeah.
Joe, we got to get you.
You haven't read the book?
No, I haven't read
that.
that.
Amazing story.
I tried to change so you don't have to. And
that's awesome.
And I just want to show you really quick. Well, you know.
Did you make the book?
He made the book.
I made the book. There's a few pages of me.
He'll
and,
autograph it for you.
Yeah.
I definitely won't.
Yeah. I'll get Lonnie's autograph.
Yeah, trust me. You'll be fine.
Matter of fact, funny story. Just before we get back, don't forget where you were.
Yeah, I know the thread.
We were on Snoop and Martha's thing, and Lonnie was passing by, and I said something about, I don't know, about a picture or something, and I think you kind of would have liked to have a picture with Lonnie because she was the star on the show, and I'd go with you taking a selfie like we don't have enough of us, right? But we're going to get that selfie. We're going to make that happen. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today because she's in Arizona doing something to do with her book, and it's a quick turnaround. She'll be back soon. But getting back to your what you told me a couple of things about Punk'd that I don't know if we could reveal, so I'll see if it comes out when you talk more about it.
Yeah, but real quick, they had a new host, right? There was a new host.
Oh, Chance took over.
Chance took over.
Well, they
Chance
tried
the rapper, is that what it is?
Chance Rapper. They tried one season where they put in a bunch of hosts.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was okay. It was all right. But it was cool. I got to meet Bieber and all those people, and I got to hang
Justin
out
Bieber's
with
the
Miley
shit.
Cyrus.
It's cool.
I got to go to her house. She's really cool too. I didn't.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus.
I know one Wrecking Ball is like the only song I can name of hers, but her as a person,
she's a nice girl.
She's a super cool
and her
person.
voice is incredible. I watched her perform at the Beverly Hills Hotel at a fundraiser for breast cancer. We'll have to give them a tag. It's WC's. I don't want to get it wrong, but we met Liam and then went by the table, and Lonnie and I met Miley. It was quite a table. Not that but. Michael Ovitz, Steven Spielberg, Kurt Russell, and Goldie Hawn. Not that I'm name dropping, but I'm so good at it.
You might want to pick those up. Grab that for you.
James, that's not like James.
Did I say Kate Hudson was there too? So, she was the speaker and everything. So anyway,
That's why Kurt and
yeah,
Gold were there.
yeah.
I was wondering why they left their ranch.
Yeah, we got a nice picture with them and everything, but it was a good time. And I can't remember what we were talking about before, how that all started. I just had a chance to do some names.
I've
Chance
got
the
some
rapper.
names, and I want to throw them off.
Yeah.
It all started by Chance because literally it was Chance the rapper.
I met Miley Cyrus. It was a very quick hello, looked up, hi.
Actually,
that was a moment I'll never forget.
Of all the people that had tried to host it, I felt like Chance really got it.
Right.
Because you can't help but like Chance, the rapper. I don't know, you say his full name.
It's
Chance
cool.
the Rapper.
Chance the rapper.
Chance the Rapper. Like, you can't help but like him anyway. His music's amazing, but the person himself, he's so spiritual, and
Yeah.
he's so because it's a fearful thing. The reason the original show was such a success beyond the jokes was Ashton.
Yeah.
Ashton, the in between parts, I never watched until years later. I was like, I'd go back and watch the show actually, and I was like, wow, Ashton really made it fun because you couldn't help but like him. He's a likable guy, and it's the same with Chance. So when Chance came on, it was like Chance the Rapper, and within the first half of an episode of shooting, we were like, oh wow, this guy's fantastic.
In sync with him and everything.
And he felt so bad, like we had to toughen him up a little bit because he'd be like, oh, they're getting upset. We're like, yeah, that's the point. That's what we want them to do. We want them very upset.
It's like an exhibit. Remember,
Well, that's how you took the words right out of my mouth.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
Like, see how we think alike?
It's amazing.
They sleep.
Pimp my ride.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna
sleep
start,
together, guys.
We're gonna start. Oh, geez, don't make that joke.
They're playing
I don't
footsies. You
get
can't see
the
that
kind
under
of
the
pickup
table.
I don't want.
That's my foot, Jim.
But we'll start finishing each other's sentences before
Yeah, we
long.
do that.
So we had Mad Mike and AK from the old MTV Pimp My Ride. And he was talking about Exhibit and just how cool it was to work with, some, like you're saying. But the funny thing I just got to add is my son loves podcasts. Brian Welsh, he's a producer.
What's up,
of this
Brian?
thing.
Hey, boy.
And he was telling me, like when we were doing it before, we had a boom mic, we didn't have headphones and microphone. And he says, you got to get mics because Joe Rogan said that like people talk over each other. Somebody didn't want to wear one. He said, no, you got to take, otherwise. It's funny because we got the mics and the headphones and I'm still talking over everybody.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it might sound cleaner. So back to, where were we?
We were just talking about Chance.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper.
So Chance.
Yeah.
So we were on Punk'd.
So I did Punk'd. I became basically, I'm probably one of the top, if not the top, 2 hidden camera experts in
Very cool.
Hollywood right
Very
now.
cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like if there's a hidden camera show, it's me. Joe Warson.
Remember Candid Camera?
That's where it's all based
Badass.
on.
Yeah. Came up.
I used to want to wear a T-shirt on set that said "Thank you, Alan Funt,"
Yeah.
for hidden
Yeah.
camera people because people don't.
I every once in a while, like something just completely, totally ironic will happen to where I'm almost in disbelief, and that's one of my go-tos. Is like, where are the cameras? Like,
Exactly.
what's
Oh, I
happening
know.
right here?
I
Where
know.
are the cameras?
If I stub my toe, I'm like this. Ow! Oh, hold on. Where's the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody put that in my way.
I
And my
was,
favorite thing too is just hearing people in general public, like being out somewhere and I'll hear somebody go, "What are you trying to do? Punk me?" And I always want to turn to them and go,
Yeah.
"No, you're not famous. So nobody's ever punking you."
you're not famous.
They're just joking with
That's
you.
a good one.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Jackass, bro.
Yeah,
Before we
let's,
go-
because we're
running-
eventually
it's
going to run out of
crazy.
time. We have
Yeah.
so much we want to get to.
It's nuts.
Jackass. We got called for Jackass 4, me and my friend Oscar. Well, Oscar gets called, and we work together. And they said we wanted X amount of things, but one of the things they wanted was a giant hand that could smash things.
That's right.
And we wound up, this guy Oscar and I couldn't figure out. First, we figured out the hand, which was literally it's a metal frame, and then there's just foam. And I have a picture somewhere.
Yeah.
Of
It's
him,
on your Facebook, yeah.
but there's a picture of him holding his actual hand up with an electric knife, carving the hand. So that hand actually looks like somebody's real hand.
That's unreal.
And they didn't know that. They thought we were going to come in with like a 3-fingered,
Yeah,
like Mickey
yeah.
Mouse hand.
Right.
And we showed up that first day. Knoxville looked at me and me and Oscar went like this.
Astonishing,
Wow. He goes, this was supposed to be the first bit of the day. This is all we're doing today.
Yeah.
And we just started smashing people with that
Isn't
thing.
that the coolest thing?
It was awesome. It was so much fun. It was so much fun not only doing it, but watching how much they loved
My son's a huge
doing
fan,
their
by the way.
friend. Yeah.
So
And
what's
I
up,
did
James
the-
Matthew?
Yeah, James.
I did that. For 3, I did the giant hand. I did the blow-up toilets.
Yeah.
With the blue
That's what I was going to ask you
That's
about.
you?
Those
Yeah, that's me.
those
Badass.
porta
When
potty
he drove,
jokes.
when he
Right.
drove through the window, I'm in that. You can see my blow the glass. That was my thing where
Very cool.
He drives his. The funny part is I finished. We did the shot, the cannon that
Yeah.
shot the salt. And it's like the last day of shooting of me. I was not allowed to be seen by any of the Jackass cast because if they saw me on set, they knew something shitty was going to happen to them.
Like that.
So
Shitty.
And they had to hide me for every time I was on set. So I would hide. There was one time I was out in the Santa Clarita Mountains hiding behind a trailer for like an hour because I had set up ahead of time.
It was punked all over again, and
Yeah.
it was different.
Yeah.
in a
So it was
different
kind of
way.
nice to know that the Jackass guys were like afraid of me. But my
beautiful.
favorite moment was I walked in and it was literally Ryan and Johnny and
Pontius,
Pontius and all those guys, and they're sitting there end of the day, and Johnny Knoxville just looks at me and goes like this, "Hey, you're mean." And I go, "I'm sorry, what?" And he goes, You're a mean. You come here and you do these rotten things to all my friends. You're a mean person." He goes, "But you're smart. That's why I like you."
That's
He goes,
funny.
"I'm mean, but I'm charming." He goes, "But you're just mean." And I went, "Well, yeah, that's what you pay me to do."
There you
That's
go.
right.
And
That's right.
so it was kind of fun. And then I got to do WrestleMania this
Yeah,
year.
he just did this like recently.
It was the
right?
greatest thing. I got a call from Knoxville's people or an email, and it said, "Hey, we want to bring this giant hand, the original hand, because Johnny owns the original
owns the
hand to
original
this
hand,
day. He keeps it at his house or storage." And he said, "We want to hit it." So they called me. We need the machine that makes it happen. It's this mechanism of
Yeah.
counterbalance and springs. I'm like, oh, that thing's 10 years old. That's gone. Like that shop's long closed.
Yeah.
So they go, can you build it again? And they asked me and they canceled. Then they asked me and they canceled. Then they asked me with 6 days to have it put together, built, and shipped to
Holy
Dallas,
moly.
Texas. And I was like, wait, if I have to do that, I want full passes and I want full backstage access
that's right.
for WrestleMania if I got to be there
Fuck
for
yeah.
that. And I need a hotel room. And I was like, oh, God, I hope they say yes.
Yeah, right.
And then they said yes. And I was like, okay. I went 4 days ahead of WrestleMania and found every excuse to work on something that
That's
was completely
fucking badass.
finished just to be there in that Dallas Stadium,
it's
the AT&T
impressive,
Stadium.
impressive.
And then to
WWE.
stand with my arm on the wrestling ring like a kid.
Yeah, because there was a lot more that you were involved with because you're actually there and
Yeah.
they show you, right? At some point, the camera pans to you.
Originally, Johnny Knoxville was like, I want him to wear a Johnny shirt. He's going to rip his black shirt off, and it's going to be like, he's with me, and then he's going to fire the hand off. I was so excited to be like, oh my God, I'm going to be in WrestleMania. I'm a kid. I've been watching wrestling since I was a little kid.
WWF. back in the
WWF,
day,
right?
Yeah, but we love it.
And right at the end, the stage manager of the WWE is like, no, that man must just squat low and run to the back. So you don't see me, but when you watch the replays, I am so there because
All right.
I had to run out, put the hand in the machine, lock it in position, roll it backwards, and get it ready for him to come running around.
Isn't that
Because
something?
those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Like they're just the talent that's there.
That's behind all
behind that,
the
there's no.
mecha-
It's a machine. Like nobody
mechanisms,
believes. I have so
unbelievable,
much
yeah.
respect for the WWE and all their crew.
I
And
just
wrestlers.
am so surprised at how many wrestling fans there are out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why. I just wasn't a big fan of wrestling, you know, but it's incredible. And some of the fans are
Die
very
hard, bro.
extreme.
Die
Alish, a guy that's in one of our classes that we go to, this guy, I guess he just really loves the wrestling.
Yeah, he actually got in the ring and he showed us how he was running to one side of the ring and somebody was
yeah, so-
manhandling him.
I used to. The reason I got into wrestling too
Yeah.
was I worked on a show called Celebrity Championship Wrestling.
Sure.
That Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Championship
Oh
Wrestling.
yeah, I remember that.
And they taught me how to run the ropes, which is if
That's
you don't,
so
they
cool.
make you do it first without telling you,
Yeah.
and then you hit that steel. That's a steel cable.
Shut up.
It's steel or it's hardcore rope. There's no flexibility to it, and it's all about how you hit it.
I didn't know that.
Oh
bro.
yeah, it's like a 1, 2, 3. You got to reach out. You got to. They make you do it once. They go ahead, run the ropes. And I went, bam! Oh my! I thought I
I
broke
can
a rib.
imagine.
And then once I learned it,
It's a rhythm. Like you
it's
got to
a
go
1, 2,
with it,
3.
yeah.
And you have to touch the rope and you're actually literally bringing yourself to the rope to bounce awesome. And it's still kind of.
It looks that way now that I think about it.
You're right. It's very.
It's super technical, dude.
Oh, but let me tell you something. When that show would air,
Yeah.
Celebrity Championship
It's the
Wrestling,
best.
I was the art director. I would go into the ring for every show and
So
just
badass.
pretend I was testing the ring just so I could do it in front of everybody, like a crowd.
That's so cool.
I'd be like this, let me test that ring before we start the show.
I'd have done the same shit. But
Well,
you
we
know
got
what?
a couple of stories about that real quick
Go ahead.
to interject on the. When my dad was a kid growing up in Boston, oh gosh, he was born in 31, so say, late 30s. He used to live near Fenway Park. I'm not going to say park, I'm going to say park.
I was wondering.
And the groundskeepers used to let him and his friends and his brothers go
So
in there
fun.
and throw the ball around
Wow.
in Fenway. But you told me that you have a relative that claims, and which I believe, you believe him, right?
Yeah.
He was working on Dodger Stadium right when they built it and put the bases and everything, and he asked if he could run the bases, and was the first guy to run the bases.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Life is just a book full of memories.
Isn't it
unreal.
fun? Though?
Yeah.
I love those little bits of trivia.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The fact that for the rest of time, I'm in actual WWE WrestleMania history on video.
You're part of that, bro.
I'm part of that. Like, it's
Badass,
stupid.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
I've
That's
never
cool.
thought I could say
I don't
like,
mean, yeah, it's stupid. I mean, yeah, it's cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It is.
And then you
It
know
is.
what? Not
Look at Jimmy
not
over there with the mic
I'm like
and the
giddy.
headphones.
I'm giddy.
He's
but,
like so
but
happy.
you know what? I was going to tell you that to add to that. I know that, not to mention the fact that they had it. It was hosted in Dallas, Texas, because Steve Austin,
Stone Cold.
Stone
I
Cold
got to
came
talk to him
back
again.
to do the WWE. That's probably why they held it there in Texas. Part of it, right? Because they hold
Yeah.
it in different parts.
I was lucky because I punked Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You did?
Yeah, we punked him.
How did you do it?
And it just
we
hits
made
keep
him-
on coming.
Yeah.
I want to hear all about it.
We made him defend a valet guy who was wrongfully accused of stealing something from Stone Cold's manager.
Holy shit.
And Stone Cold sat in that car and
Yeah.
didn't say a word. I remember being in the booth and watching it. We're like, he's not getting out of the car. Like, what are we
wow.
going to do? Like, they're ready to call it because Stone Cold's just like... And finally, they get him out, and then he's just standing there. And out of nowhere, when it's revealed that this guy didn't steal it and he's still getting fired, Stone Cold Steve Austin got nose to nose with a guy and goes, "You a stupid son of a bitch, aren't you?" Now, to call somebody a stupid son of a bitch is one thing, but to then make them want you to agree with you for calling you that,
Wow.
that's intimidating. And after it was over, and he's like, "You dumb! I told you not to do that. You did." Gets him in his face. That we reveal afterwards. The actor was like, "I was this close to wetting my pants." I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Do you know how intimidating it is to have Stone Cold Steve Austin angry at you, and you know it's a lie? Like you're not even rightfully thinking." So it was great to see him again and say to him,
What were some of your some other favorite episodes?
Yeah.
Now Magic Johnson there was one where something about his Mercedes or something.
some of his Mercedes got stolen. My
The
favorite
Bugatti one was good.
The Bugatti one was
Yeah.
fun. My favorite episode is making Drake think he was in an earthquake.
Wow, Drake.
It was, and
How
I'm
did
in
you
that
guys manage
episode.
to do that?
Well, what we did was, I can't remember the effects company we had. We basically pulled him into the parking lot underneath. It's off of the 405.
Okay.
Skirball.
Skirball.
We were at the base of a Skirball. He goes in there, and we had a cage set up, like looks like
Beautiful.
one of those like
Yeah.
constructions going
Yeah.
on. So when he pulls up, the driver's here. He's in the back seat. These effects guys came crawling out, and they stuck these airbags underneath that we had set so it would
Just
it-
rattle the fuck out
rattle
of them.
you,
Yeah.
and we made it so it felt like an earthquake. And then we had 37 cues I had to call out as we had around the parking lot, pipes falling, bulbs exploding.
That's beautiful.
Things popping, like it just looked like a full-fledged earthquake. It to watch his face and see how scared he was.
Priceless.
You know, I pranked somebody like that once. It just brings back so many memories. When I was really young, I was first starting my painting company, Quality Painting Plus in Orange County, California.
OC. I love the OC.
And there was this guy, he was a little on the older side. He worked for me. His name was Tony Pizzullo. Shout out to Leanne, that's his daughter, and she's beautiful. And great. I mean, Tony was a buddy of mine. And he went out, he had a few drinks or something. He slipped in my garage, and my landlord used to keep this old 57 Chevy that was all primered out, but it was complete. It was just didn't have the trim on and everything. And he slipped in there and he fell asleep. And I'm looking for him in the morning. He usually meets me out by my truck, and I go into my garage, and all of a sudden I see he's in there. So the way I did it is I started slow with the rocking. And built up. And I'm glad I didn't give that poor guy a heart attack, man. He just he thought it was an earthquake. It worked out great.
But there's playing practical jokes on people is not a surprise. Like it's just I love playing practical jokes on.
You ever crank called friends?
I love to
I love
crank
that.
call. I used to
those.
love
Me too.
Michael Landon liked practical. There's a few celebrities that you hear they have.
George Clooney's big
George
on them,
Clooney
too.
too.
George
Yeah,
Clooney's
I did
big.
it all the time, dude. I called Eastside Morales. I called fucking what's the other guy? The guy who played Richie Valens. Called him.
Oh,
too.
and he didn't play Richie, but he played the.
No, he
No, he
played
played
Richie.
Richie.
Eastside played the brothers. So
you're talking
Lou
about-
Diamond Phillips.
Lou
You
Diamond.
talking about Lou Diamond Phillips?
Yeah,
I
crank
saw
called
him
both
at
of
an
them.
award show. He looks
Really?
good, man.
Both,
He's
yeah.
I
I always
called-
loved his work.
I one time
I
called
do.
Caesar. My friend from Grace High School reminded me of this. I one time got all the way through on a payphone to the front desk at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas
Shit.
as Jimmy Stewart.
Love it.
I like to make a reservation, and I did the whole
Pretty
thing.
good.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Stewart.
Well, this is a nice segue
Love it.
to talk about what you've been doing lately, because
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of posts about you over at the Ice House.
I do the Ice House. I do the Chateau. I started doing stand up in '89, and I quit, like I said, to do Punk'd and Jackass and work and get into this whole practical joke world.
Badass.
And then I was on a cruise, believe it or not, with my wife, and I was watching Tim Kaminsky's a cruise comedian, old school guy. And I was just watching it, and my wife looked at me and goes, "You miss it, don't you?" And I go, "It's kind of hard not to miss when you've had success at it." Because I was lucky enough, like
Sure.
I got to play New York, and I got to be on the road. I got to open for some great comics, and I said, "Yeah, all right, I'm gonna try it one more time. If I do good, we'll see. So I did a show for a guy named TK Matson at a show called Rebels of Comedy, and I went on at the main room at the Ice House.
Oh, I love the main room.
They got 7 minutes, and I just remember finishing my set and walking towards the booker, who just looked at me and goes, "Where the fuck did you come from?"
Love it.
What the? And he's like, make sure you give me your number. We're gonna book you again. And I just started getting back into it.
Fabulous.
And I think that because I have a bit of life in me now,
Sure.
I feel like now I enjoy stand up
It's
more
like the
than
second wind you got.
the second
Let me
wind,
tell you
and
something.
it's grounded. Like I'm not
Yeah.
making stuff up about life. I've
Right.
lived life.
Right.
I don't even talk about, like, once in a while I'll talk about the time that I had to put Beyonce. I had to dress like an elf to carry Beyonce to the top of a tree. Like, I'll talk that story out once in a while.
That's a good
But that's
one.
something like but I don't even talk about that. I mean, I make fun of my wife. I
Well,
make fun of my.
when we
beautiful.
have you back, we're definitely going to have that story. You hear the whole.
The Beyonce story.
Your wife's a very talented actress.
Actually, my wife stepped away from the acting world.
Okay, because
She
I
opened
saw
up-
her, I met her when you guys were in a play
That's how
together.
we met. Yeah.
Yeah.
We met once we got married. She hadn't been making any money, so she decided she didn't like it, and we started to not like acting as much. And she's an amazing at
And
planning
does she have a
weddings.
name?
Renee. Sorry, sweetheart.
Renee Dalo.
Renee Dalo,
Yes.
and she started a company called Moxie Bright Events.
Okay.
And has
I
become,
heard of it, actually.
Yeah, she's become
Yeah,
like this
I have.
stellar wedding planner, wedding educator,
Very
and
awesome.
she's becoming a life coach now. So she's
Beautiful.
created an entire life
Empire,
She's
dude.
more
Yeah.
famous than I am by far.
Well, I wanted to
She has
give
her own
her
podcast.
due because I love Renee, and you guys are so great together. I remember when you got married. I remember I was there when you guys had that chemistry on stage, and I saw something's going. Boy, they really have a good chemistry.
Oh,
Yes.
But
beautiful.
so the other thing I wanted to say is when I was in a play with Joe. His role was to warm up the audience, and you did all the sound effects, the Foley
Oh, yeah,
stuff,
the Foley stuff.
and it was
I
like
rewrote that.
watching Groucho Marx, Charlie Chaplin,
dude. It was
Three
so much fun.
Stooges, all wrapped up. He's so great. People can see you at the Ice House.
At the
Where could they,
Chateau-
yeah,
at the
would you have any
Comedy
upcoming
Chateau.
shows?
I'll be doing the Comedy Chateau. I have a show coming up at the end of June.
Perfect. This
Can
will
we
be
get
out by
VIP
then.
tickets?
Yes.
Yeah, we want to prank you.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Try if you can.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Well,
has been
this
a
has been
fucking
great.
amazing show, bro. We're gonna have to wrap it up because we don't know where time went, but we're getting the signal over there that it's almost over, and we hate that, but we have to go. You can come back. You promise to come back.
I will definitely
Only
come
if you
back.
have some more fucking tacos from Peaches
I will
Tacos.
eat
Peaches Tacos.
I
We're
will
giving
only
a
do
little
the show
plug there, a little
if I get
shout
the
out.
Peaches Tacos.
That's it. It's the only.
Thank you
okay.
to the Liquid Death people for providing this because this is awesome.
And are you gonna subscribe? Subscribe, guys. You guys are watching.
Great
Subscribe to
water.
our
Subscribe.
podcast.
Barnhouse Napa Brews. Order some online. Adam Housley, Tamara Housley. You know where to find them.
And we're doing
Instagram.
a blitz. Did you tell everybody we're doing like a Sunday
Yeah,
blitz?
so today we're doing 3 episodes.
Rock and roll.
And they'll be released as the editing is finished up on them. We'll be putting them out. Next, we have a couple of great comics that open for Lonnie. And by the way, I just wanted to mention that
Yeah.
Lonnie was an engineer at Xerox. It's in the book.
Yeah.
I tried to change so you don't have to. And she was driving to Pasadena, many nights during the week to MC, and then she got on, and she did that for free for a couple of years. She was out there grinding it out at these different clubs to make it. So people think, it comes easy or they just
Nothing
happen
comes
to,
easy.
no.
No.
Sometimes it takes a lot of
Nothing
hard work.
worthwhile comes easy, as they say. So.
Yeah.
And that being said, we're going to make sure we put information on how they can see where you're at and what you're doing.
Check out my website,
Your website, your
my
Instagram,
Instagram.
all
We'll
that
insert
stuff
all
will
that,
be there.
dude. Your social security, your phone number.
my address.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Until next time, thank you. Make sure you subscribe.